Alright, the Novo Nutrition athlete Jorge Rosado is here, and we're having a random conversation, and we decided to schmodcast it. What were you saying?
And shit.
You're talking into it. Yeah. Not like that loud, but yeah. Like, we're so
mic check, 1
saying?
2 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Alright.
So anyways, as of lately, I just been thinking about,
Life and shit.
And about, mistakes and shit. And like I was just telling my buddy Jacob here about how there's two types of mistakes in this world, and there's experimental mistakes and there's the actual mistake of itself. An experimental mistake would be basically like if you were to be in a relationship and you start seeing red flags from this girl, things that you don't necessarily like, that now you can't, you're looking for actual relationship, but now you're seeing this girl doesn't have the qualities you're looking for a long-term relationship, but deep down inside you still keep going along with it, like maybe she'll change, and time just goes on, and that experimental mistakes actually turns to an actual mistake. And like I said, once that becomes an actual mistake, it's just like that's time that you can never get back, right?
It's like almost like an irreversible mistake.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just like, okay, now can you learn from that mistake, right? I mean, is it bad to regret mistakes? No, but to a certain extent. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you could regret something, but don't regret it so much, or dwell on it so much that it completely paralyzes you.
Right.
And it gives you it basically creates fear. It creates fear, and basically what that would do is if you were to get into another relationship just because of that past experience, I feel that you can miss out on opportunities, I should say, just because of that past relationship. And it's not only fair to the person, but it's also not fair to you.
You got a lot on your mind, dog.
Yeah, he does.
It's not fair to you, and
yeah.
And the thing with mistakes is, like I said, there's what is it? Logical fallacy. That many people think that that you have to make mistakes in order to learn from them, right? But like I said, I feel that you actually, in order to get through life and be successful in the certain particular thing that you want to be successful at, your end goal, let's just say, you definitely want to make a hell of a lot less mistake, whether it's through reading or mentors.
So you're actually talking about an efficient life.
Exactly.
Is what you're talking about more than anything.
Exactly. Basically meaning that you don't like yourself.
Like, how could you go through making the least
how can you go
possible.
through that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I just explained to you, through reading, through mentors, through people that already have been through it, that you could, get advice from.
But if you think about it though, man, like there's good mistakes, because I think about some of the mistakes I've made in my life, and like they're some of the biggest ones. And so like people say you learn from your mistakes, and it's like I've learned from them, sure, but I've also been psychologically scarred from them. And I think that's where the real learning comes from, right? Yes. It's like, so I'm not encouraging any of you to do this, but like when I grew up, like I got beat as a kid. Like my mom didn't beat me down and nothing like that. But like when something bad happened, I had enough negative reinforcement psychologically and physically that I just didn't do. And that's when people say, oh, Ryan, you're a humble, nice. Yeah, my mom beat me, motherfucker. Like that's why. Like that's why I thank my mom for my good behavior. So like that mistake to me was needed to kind of like move my shoulders in the right direction. So like before we got on there, I was talking about school and the mistakes I made like in undergrad before. Like those people doubted, like those people that I used to with the program, they wrote me off. Like the psychological damage I got from someone seeing me as useless or a waste of a scholarship or someone who's just, it scarred me so hard that like I turned the fuck up with de novo. Like it was like,
but some people don't do that.
some people don't recover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For example,
And how, like, with, unless you're looking at it from a place in the future, so in hindsight, how could you know? Like,
but you're,
and I think what Jorge said
Yeah.
is a good answer to that, which is education, which is where we kind of, what like Dawkins talked about in The Selfish Gene, and
Simulation.
selfish gene.
simulating
Exactly.
things
Yeah,
in your
simulation.
mind through
Can you say how you
education.
define simulation real quick for?
So basically, simulation would just be learning or reading or just really thinking about anything, running through it in your mind, and the more you've read, the more you know, the more educated you are.
The more you learn, the more you earn.
Yeah, it's like reading, and that education is a very low risk way to kind of accumulate almost pseudo experience.
Exactly.
In order to avoid those mistakes in the future and make better judgments.
Exactly. And at the same time, a lot of these people that you can actually learn a lot from, they're not alive. So the only way to actually get into their mind and see what what they're about is just through going back and reading.
Well, that's part of like why my content is the way it is. Like, you guys know my real personality and the ridiculous shit I do in real life. But like the content I put out, like I have to die, and I don't know what's gonna become of that video in 500 years. Like, I have no idea.
Exactly.
Like it's out there, and so like that's why I put out a body of work that like, I don't know, it's even 1% close to the people I've read in my entire life. So like, I think I wrote something the other day, I don't know verbatim, but like, I think deep down when it comes to mistakes, we're all just afraid, and we're all just fearing the fear a little bit, like in a cheesy way.
Yeah.
Like, you got some?
Well, that goes back to the whole like capitalism thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're afraid to mess up because somebody else is gonna take your stuff.
But
that's how it's always been.
But I think here's the beautiful thing about capitalism is that, and I realized this in Yosemite, is that it's actually a game I prefer because genetically I can do it, and like I don't want to. Regardless, like a Homo sapien, like our genus, like there were, now they found another one, 16 species in the Homo genus. They're like Neanderthals, like Homo erectus, like 16 other motherfuckers like us. Like Homo sapiens just played the game. Well, and what was that old game we played 100,000 years ago? That was a game of woods and tree and rock. Yep. We were just good at that game. And capitalism is the new game. Like, and so when you think about mistakes back then, like if you fucked up in the woods, good night. Like that's have a good night. And if you fuck up now, what do you file for Chapter 7 bankruptcy? Like, what are you afraid? What's the worst?
Yeah.
That's, or you get a house from the government, you get public housing. Like, you have nothing to be afraid of.
You still get to go on, but
I think
then you gotta ask, like, what is an existence worth living?
And I think that's relative to where you come from. So if you have people like, so I grew up, we didn't have shit. So like, true. I'm not afraid of anything. Like if someone tells me, all right, the worst that's going to happen if your business collapses, if you make a mistake, I'll get Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Motherfucker, I've been poor before. Like, okay, bring it on. Like, I have nothing to lose. But if you grew up, let's say you've been a millionaire your whole life.
Exactly.
Do you know what the idea of bankruptcy must feel like to that person? Relative.
Terrifying.
It's And so I think your mistakes
have to come down to scare resources.
Yeah, dude, your mistakes are just
you don't want to do that.
Your internal fears, what fear you're adapted to. I'm not saying that's definite. My kind of realization of the moment in Chet. In Chet
for sure.
Yeah.
What else you got on your mind, Jorge? Jorge speaks. Speak to me, Jorge. Speak to me, Jorge.
Actually, have this thing written down here that
you guys talk into the mic. People can understand.
It's true that you only learn from your mistakes.
Yeah,
but that's half the truth, because you see, it's better to learn from others' mistakes.
That's simulation. That's what Jake was saying.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
What happens when but here's the thing though, like, and here's the thing about life and education, right? So I wrote something down, and it was like, I'm just afraid. Like, I'm hella afraid. The only reason I read is because I'm afraid. I don't know anything. So I keep trying to say, how can I
figure something
how can I
out.
figure this out?
Exactly.
And here's where I'm at 20 years old, is that I've gotten enough help through reading, through my favorite poems, philosophers, people, I've gotten enough reading that I've made enough good decisions that it's gotten me to figure out how to create the Novo and be successful in it. Here's the trick. Now you're alone, motherfucker. There's no book on de novo. Like, what am I gonna do? So now, either, it doesn't matter. Like, you gotta, like, now I'm in uncharted territories. Like, I can't pick up fucking Nietzsche and be like, Nietzsche, what the fuck am I gonna do about this Australian distribution? Like, Nietzsche has no fucking...
That's debatable.
That is the... Contrastingly, why? Hold on, I need to hear this.
Because everything is pattern recognition.
Very true.
So if you can take something and realize the pattern of it, or essentially the overall message, wherever you want to call it, like, and apply it to something else, and that's what I love doing. Like, I love to take things that are seemingly unrelated and look at it in a context of how does this make sense in my life? That's why I like science fiction so much.
Yeah.
Because that's a really abstract, I guess, simulation, if you want to keep with that way of thinking. So maybe not, directly applicable, but you can definitely take, I think, some points away from it. For sure.
That's what I was thinking as well.
That's actually a really good point. And I think I do that unconsciously to some degree, and then like I find myself saying things, not only saying things, like standing for things that I've read, and it's like I've never practiced it. So like, as I guess it's proper timing. Tim Ferriss, I'm a huge fan of 4 Hour Workweek. He has said so many things that has resonated with me, and before I even started as an entrepreneur, I found myself believing in these things that I read from him, and I haven't even done them myself. So like, I don't work a 4 hour work week, right? So no, it's 4 hour work 4 hour. It's every 4 hours. And so like, I find it amazing that I have this belief system that it's untapped. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how I feel about the Tao. Like, I've never practiced Taoism, but like, if I had to practice it, I would have a good idea, because I've read a shit ton about it. Like, I've already kind of got a head start, and I think reading is like anticipatory storage of application. You just have all this theory jammed in your fucking...
You don't really know what's gonna pop up either, or when it's gonna link up with something else.
And that's why you have to read everything.
Exactly.
Yep.
This is like... It's funny because I feel like in life you have to be a chameleon.
Yeah.
You have to be. It's just like you need to know when to, let's just say, be an action person, talk about action, or when you need to, basically talk about or be more emotional person, and you want to be a chameleon in life, a sociable person, in order to be able to... I feel like more opportunities present themselves when you are a chameleon of life, per se.
Yeah, you'll be more likely to notice them.
Exactly.
But in a fucked up devil's advocate kind of way. And this is where I think, as an individual, I have succeeded. Is that like, I do great, I think, personally, self-reflection with being a chameleon, but I also do great with being firm as fuck and saying no, or like really taking a stance when I need to take a stance. And I think like some people, and we'll use fitness since we're in fitness, some of the most popular fitness people I know, it's like, man, they like flex with anything, and it's like, dude, like, what do you do? Like, are you into this or into this? Like, exactly. you were a Gymshark now, you do that, and it's like, come on, man, like, who are you?
I mean, it's not necessarily out of topic, but they were saying, well, it's just like, I don't know if it's statistically, shown or something like that, but it's just like, if you take, the top, I don't know, 100 to 150, 200 billionaires in the country, the one thing that they have in common is that most of them stuck with that one thing that they started with. And the reason why a lot of people are, you know, unsuccessful and stuff like that is just because they're constantly jumping from thing to thing. Like, I'm gonna do this, or you know what, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna try that, and just don't give it the time. And it's just like I was just telling Jake, you know, you don't get what you want, you get what you deserve. The world is yet not enough crazy place in order to reward a bunch of undeserving people.
Yeah, there's merit to that.
I think you definitely have to put in the work. But I also think in a weird way that the time of those sort of billionaires who really just focus on one thing and they only do one thing, I think it's coming to an end in some kind of weird way, because if you're smaller, more clever, that's what's happening. The small is winning right now, and it'll eventually become big, but I feel like everything goes into
I agree, and I think the small has the tools to kind of succeed right now. And like you talk about those people who did one thing, like they'll always be successful, I think so, but like the aggregate number of them, I think, will go down, because like the extraordinary model used to be rewarded by someone big. So like someone would be like, let's say Warren Buffett, like he was just really good with numbers, like just numbers. That was it. Like, and so that's why his stock has like gone from, I think when he bought it back in the 1950s, I think it was worth like $7 and something cents a share, and I believe now, my finance guys don't fact check me, it's well over $190,000 for one share. So imagine if somebody would have bought 50 shares, you know, or something like that. And his answer is like, well, I live in Omaha, I don't live in New York, so I don't think like a New Yorker, and I just really like math. He's really good at one thing, and so it's the timing. And so the stock market just so happened to reward him. If there were no stock market and he were born with that skill set 400 years ago, he just would have been a dude writing numbers down on
hit over the head and take his food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like just a dude. And I think like the internet is changing things. So like, I'll be real with you guys. Like, de Novo Nutrition started out with like, dude, we had like, I remember when I first saw the books, we had like $2,000. Like, that was everything we had. Like, and so obviously we've made moves to get up and have some money, but the internet did it for us. Like, dude, we didn't have a rich uncle or nothing. Like, the internet did it for us. Like, it was just, the small people can move quickly. Like, you know how long it would have took a corporation to instill like the values we have in like brand and de novo right now? It's like people would have, they would have taken ages. How can we convince fucking 30 people in the board meeting? How can we convince people that we're about family? Like, what? Like, oh my god! Right. Like you're never going to do it. Like, that era is over. Like, people are rewarding the people now. Like, they're bringing the power back to the internet. Well, unless they can take over the internet and control us. But
Which they're trying to do.
What's they're trying to do. And the fucked up part is that there is no like big other, as Jack Lacan would say. Like, the big other is just this made up thing. So like, if for instance, if I say like, fuck America, I love America, I have a eagle tattoo, guys, so I love America. Not me. So if I say fuck America, people are gonna get irate. But who is America? Right. And you can answer that, well, it's all of us. Well, it's all of us. And it's just all of us. Okay, well, it's me too, so fuck America. And that's like the fucked up dichotomy of the big other. It's like, there is no representative, and we're all mad for this lack of representative. Like, we talk about the government and the organization, it's us. Like, it's us. Like, we hate it. It's like self-hate. It's fucked up. Like, it's us who's doing these things. And so I think like that's really starting to hit a tipping point, Gladwell, ironically, with the big, and the small is bringing it back. And so little companies like us can sit around and talk about fear and mistakes, and people will listen to it, you know.
But think about anything really is like, I feel like where real success comes from, and people, again, like we've talked about, people only see the tip of the iceberg really, and they don't see like the mechanism of how that happened. So if you look at somebody who is already successful and say, okay, they did that one thing, but perhaps they took one thing and applied it to another thing.
Of course.
That hadn't been done before.
And that's what I meant. I didn't mean specifically just one thing. Obviously, they got there, by various resources and stuff like that. Or, let's just say through mistakes. Let's just say, for example, Jeff Bezos and, what's this dude's name from the guy who created Walmart?
I have no idea.
I forgot his name, but basically he had bought this piece of land where he had made the hardware, or Walmart.
In Arkansas. He started in Arkansas.
Exactly, and then
the poorest state.
And I think I'm not too sure, but basically in the contract or something like that, the landowner ended up taking the land back and took the store with it.
Wow.
So he lost everything. Wow. So at moments like that, that's when I feel like that's when people really become innovators.
Right.
That's when breaking points like that, it's
Absolutely.
just like, okay, like this is now, like, what do I do now? Like, yes, like I was talking about regret. Yeah, okay, you regret not reading the contract all the way through and signing it, but it's just like, all right, yeah, cry about it, sob on it for a little bit, but let that thrive you. It's just, for example, Michael Jordan, he didn't make the high school junior team, right? Was it?
It was varsity. He didn't make freshman year, and he was mad.
Rightfully so. He's Michael Jordan. I think at the Hall of Fame, he was just like, because of that,
yes,
I throw from that. So everything that I did from that point on, it's just like I would never go through that again.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna basically make my coach realize that he's the one that made the mistake.
I don't know where we have forgotten this in human history, but like, we are angry motherfuckers, and we work well with anger. Like, dude, we work well. Like, dude, if somebody's like, hey, let's do this and blah blah blah, and they're playing nice, like, I would be somewhat interested in doing it. Okay. But dude, if you fuck me over, and dude, I will vow to myself.
Yes, and that comes back to relationships. What happens when you break up with your girlfriend?
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, I'm saying, like, most
people
it's
like in like a year or something. I don't know.
Genius. But I don't know. But I feel like most people, when they're in a relationship, they break up. All of a sudden, they're just like, you know what? I'm gonna start going to the gym, start lifting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the anger. But it's the anger.
Exactly. It's from the anger of that.
This is like, honestly, and I can tell everybody, the secret to Novo is that we are just a bunch of, and I got it from Gandhi. I don't know Gandhi, right? I learned from his life.
Yeah.
I basically have a lot of hate and anger and things I'm upset about. But Gandhi, from his readings, if you guys know anything about Gandhi, he said, take what you hate and pump out the love from that hate. So like, I could sit and like, Novo could be a model and we could talk about what we don't like. I hate this. I hate blah blah blah. I hate people who do this. But instead we're like, okay, what would fix what I hate? And that's all we talk about is the love part. Because man, we ain't got time for no negativity, man. You know what I mean? So like, dude, hate will take you so far, and I think we forget. Like, we're animals. We're animals. Like we read the news sometimes, and it's like, a man lost his mind and viciously, like, well, I mean, that's kind of expected. Like, he's still an animal. Like, he can go buck wild like a dog from time to time, and socially that's unacceptable to lose your mind. But I think it's still good from time to time.
I just laughed because I thought of the Yoda quote where he's like, what does he say? It's like anger leads to hate. Hate leads to the dark side. That sounded more like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. Like Kermit. Oh jeez, Piggy. Oh jeez.
Oh god.
Dude, but that's the thing though, and that's the thing about haters, and that's why, like, I said this in a video a long time ago on the Natty Pro channel. I was like, you can't be mad at a hater. Like, they're just, a hater is actually correct. If you see something and you don't like it, that's okay. But like, the difference between me and a hater is one small difference. A hater will see it and just complain. I'll see it, dude. I have, guys, I don't know, I'll say it one day, but I won't say it today. I hate one person in the supplement industry, and they are fueling my everyday decisions. They're really helping me a ton. I won't say who it is now. Maybe in 10 years I'll tell you guys. But like, and it's working. And it's working. And it's working. And I'm not saying that you need hate. Like, I got love. Obviously, I love everybody in Novo, but like, that reminder will keep you on your toes, man. Exactly. And let's be
Jordan,
dude, like Michael Jordan. And the only way and everybody loves Michael Jordan.
And he only got better through time as well.
And that's it. And that's all he did was get better.
Exactly.
So like, dude, like, the only time the world, I think, as human beings will ever unite is when something non-human comes in and starts fucking with us. Yeah. Like, as long as we have differences, like, never gonna happen. Like, we have to have something foreign to like really fuck us up.
It's gotta be bad because cancer exists. Like,
exactly.
And we still can't even get like our
everyone hates cancer.
Yeah,
because it's against the human being. Everyone hates. Mind you, like, dude, like, HIV has a fucking genome. HIV is just another living thing. Yeah. Like, in the world of HIV, they're like, oh shit, our numbers are doing pretty good. Like, we're a thriving race. But for us, like, since HIV doesn't help us, we hate it. But we can accept the bacteria in our gut because it helps us and things like that. Like, but as long as we have that common uniter, and to be real with you, that common uniter is oftentimes something you really don't mess with. But
I feel like that's kind of where
uniting the fears, ironically.
Uniting.
Yeah. I feel like how everything comes back to fear.
Right. Speaking of, like, I guess uniting, or I guess that seems like where like Leave Your Mark came from, at least from my perspective and from what I've heard. Some of the conversation we've had is like, I feel like there's all like some kind of way we didn't feel like a part of the whole, or like in some way not fully accepted. So it's like you said, if you can take that and then pump out the love and say like, you know, just be yourself. Like, I was a fucking nerd for a lot of my life, and wasn't cool. So I missed out on a lot of things.
But I think that's why, like...
But it wasn't until later that I learned that if you just do your thing, like, people will respect you.
Because, man, you can't outcompete, and that's the quote, like, about passion, don't fake passion, because somebody will embarrass you. Like, dude, you can... like, if I were gonna go and be, like, the number one swimmer in the world, I could probably get close, but like, I'm never gonna beat the most natural swimmer. With that said,
never
like,
gonna beat Michael Phelps,
dude. If we had ran a contest, right, and it was like, and I got 100 applications, and they were like the Jorge Rosado imitation contest, I would probably be top 3, low key and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying, like, not for nothing and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would probably be top 3. I'd be good. But you know who would destroy everybody? Me. It would be funny. It would be comical. Like, it wouldn't even come close. So like, I realized that early in life, and I was like, you know what, dude? I may listen to fucking weird fucking music, electric light orchestra, and not want to go out and fucking have one drink and cringe and like I may have some weird shit about me, but like, I'm just gonna ride it to the fullest. And like, if that meant that like I were meant to be a librarian, dog, you couldn't out librarian me. Like, I would be it. I would rock that shit. Like, because like you were saying about making decisions, like, here's how I make my decisions. I don't give a fuck what. So like, let's say the decisions were like, you were like, I want all the girls, and that's what somebody wanted. That's what they thought that made them happy. What if reading 12 hours a day elicited more positive hormones in you than hanging out at the club with girls? Just because society prizes one more in the public eye, like, why would you not take the one that literally makes you feel happy? That's all. Like, what else is life? Like, it's literally, how do I feel today? And people are like, oh shit, we ask that question to ourselves every day. And it's like, do what feels right.
But then you gotta think about money.
Then you gotta think about money. That's absolutely, you're right.
Okay. So if you're clever, I guess educated enough, then you figure out how to get paid for doing something.
So you gotta know the game too, right?
Yeah. The whole thing with happiness, though, I feel like, not for nothing and shit, you know. everybody's, let's just say, they're always saying all I want to do is just be happy in life, right? Or along something along those lines, right?
I know.
Like, or they just want to be able to. They just want to be happy, right? It's funny because the thing with happiness is that
Preach and shit.
it's just all right. Let's just take nutrition for example.
You're making a lot of noise over there.
Let's just take nutrition for
You need to
example.
get a good
Okay,
stance.
so for example, what's something that releases the highest amount of dopamine? Let's just orgasm,
Heroin, probably.
or let's just say orgasm for now, right? It's
Gotta be pretty high on the list from what I hear.
Okay, so let's just say if you could go into this, this chamber or something, and you could have an orgasm 24/7.
Jake's got a good response for this.
I do.
24/7, for the rest of your life. I feel like at a certain point it will no longer release the same amount of dopamine.
Well, continue.
And the thing with it, it's just like, for example, let's just take another example. Food releases dopamine as well. It's just like, all right, if you just keep eating, there's a certain point that you reach that you just get full, and food is no longer makes you happy. You're already full, so it's just like now you're gonna eat to the point that you're gonna feel sick. So it's just like, I feel with happiness is that with happiness you have to be, let's just say, unhappy in order to feel happiness.
Right.
It's just like what is Newton's third law: for every action, there's a equal and opposite reaction.
Jorge, you've been reading on him, dog.
Jorge dropping the gems. Come on, man, this shit. You know what I'm saying?
When you really fuck with Justin Bieber, but he come out with this shit. Fucks with this.
God.
Oh man.
So that's interesting. You're talking about like a fucking like orgasm chamber.
Go.
Oh God. They actually there's actually been experiments done with rats where they put them in a chamber and there's a lever, and they press the lever down, and it causes dopamine to be released in their brain. So what they do is they first they press it on accident, right? And then they start to learn, oh, this feels good every time I press this. And then all that becomes all they do, and they starve and they die.
They dopamine themselves to death.
Yeah.
They don't eat, they just press the button.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a drug addiction in America, essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of, one, the difference between a human, or at least someone who is able to be introspective, is we would look at that and say, yeah, I would be happy, but that existence seems like a nightmare.
Exactly.
So I think
it'd
it's
be like,
definitely,
I wouldn't want that every day, man. Yeah.
no. So yeah, you gotta ask, like, I don't know. I think with people it's different in that we are always looking for something above and beyond just happiness. And I think I think I agree with what you said. You kind of have to feel unhappy to feel that feeling of happiness.
Yeah.
So,
and at the same time, it's I don't want to say that happiness is relative as well.
I don't know that happiness should be the kind of carrot on the end of the stick that you're trying to get at, or the objective goal.
It should be,
I think it's
fulfillment.
I think it's more, honestly, a byproduct of I don't like just fucking trying really hard at something. So like, I always use, and I use like catharsis. I think I posted this on like Instagram talking about like, I think that like true happiness comes from that feeling of catharsis, which is like the completeness of
various
something,
or
so
various
like,
things.
You know how you like wake up like after you just finish prep and you like you just did your show and you wake up the next morning, like you just did your show and you wake up the next morning, like feel pretty good. Like you did it, and like you're on the other side now, and it's just like, at least that's how I feel. It feels good, like, because you did something to completion, and it was hard, and you challenged yourself. And so I think when people aim to just be happy, that's like looking at the little lever and saying like, all I want to do is press the lever. Like that's foolish. That's foolish to think that like have happiness as the actual
end goal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It just happens when you try it. Sometimes.
Like I said, it should actually be fulfillment.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I said, basically happiness, I feel like everything with that is relative as well. For example, many people might find more happiness in being in a relationship as opposed to, Ryan will find more happiness in reading books, reading a book a day or something like that, or money and stuff like that. And I feel like the actual biggest drivers of happiness is actually love and wealth. It's love, wealth, and health.
Well, I think mechanistically, like usually with love and wealth is because most of us can't get enough. Some people will get enough in their life. Some will, and then they'll grow tired of it, just like anything else. But again, mechanistically, if you think about why, like the pursuit of happiness is the happiness. Zizek, one of my favorites, he says, nothing is worse to a human being in life than losing the desire to desire. Like nothing is worse than it.
That's depression.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it is. And you're a computer, you're programmed, right? So like if I were to take out your frontal lobe in your brain, you wouldn't run the same. It's just like if I took out the RAM in my computer, it just wouldn't operate. Like it just wouldn't operate the same. So your brain is a computer. So we do have a program in our 3 billion base pairs. We have a program that says, okay, there's so much fucking competition out there. I won't let you be happy until you're competing
Life is competition.
At all times. So we have it in our utopian write-up. So like the real dopaminergic response doesn't come from here's $1 million. It comes from here's $1 million, work 5 years to get it. Like that's where the real happiness comes. So it's like we can say things like happiness is this and that and why, but mechanistically why? It's because we are literally programmed to chase and programmed to do it. And the one thing that has separated us, like I said, we had 16 in our Homo genus, 16 human-like species. Like that's amazing. Homo sapien-like species. We're the ones that made it because maybe we had that one thing programmed amidst other things, smart decisions, living in the right places, things like that, that told us never be satisfied. So never being satisfied, I think, is our ebb and flow. It's part of our human condition. Like our happiness relies on it 100%. But the dangerous part is we're getting so good at it that we'll probably destroy ourselves at some point because we don't know when to stop. But part of us getting here is because we don't.
Ebb and flow there too.
Absolutely. So it's almost we're our own auto regulators.
Yeah.
In a sense.
No.
So you got to make mistakes. At the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean,
you got any more deep things to say before we go?
I have a lot of things to say, but I feel like this podcast might go on for hours.
Keep going.
Keep going. And talking to the microphone.
With the thing with what you said about it's not about getting the $1 million. It's actually working the 5 years to.
Or any arbitrary amount of years.
Exactly, to get there. It's the same thing with, let's just say fitness. If you could...
Hold on real quick. That wasn't me. That was from, I'm sorry, I should say real quick. That was from Dr. Mahaley something in his book Flow. That's where I got that from. That wasn't original. So I should say that. Sorry, go ahead.
Same thing with, let's just say muscle building. It's just like, all right, if you could just get all the muscle and not have to train, would you make that trade-off? Like, what would allow you to have more fulfillment, or what would make you happier? Just for you to overnight get all the muscle, or over time, basically progress and see the progress, and does that actually make you happier seeing the progress, as opposed to like, it's just like we were just talking about earlier, like now I'm to a point that it's just like I'm looking for other forms of, let's just say, dopamine, right?
Yeah.
Through salsa or like through baseball, just because now I feel that it's not boring, but
Diminishing marginal return.
Exactly. It's just like
so small that
Getting small.
yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to when I first started, when, like I said, all the progress that I was seeing, it's just like that just encouraged me more, and I wanted to keep doing it and keep seeing progress, and that comes back to the thing with the $1 million. It's just like, once you start seeing that you throughout the years you're getting there to your goal, it's just like that. It's like, all right, I'm making 50,000 now. I want 100K. Now I want 150K. You know?
But like, that quote, like, there's nothing new under the sun. Like, that's diminishing marginal return. So like, the way it works is that your first go, whatever you get, the first time you do something, you get that reward, kind of like how Jake was explaining when they press the dopamine. The first one, that's the one, man.
Yeah.
Like the first girlfriend, first, first everything. Like the first everything is man. Second one, straight, a little less, maybe 98, maybe 97%. But the more times you do something, the more times it fucks up. And I think this is Ryan's philosophy, but I think that's just our nature. Like everything is ebb and flow, and everything is chaotic, and how stable can we hold that chaos? So like, think of something like a supernova. It's because the stuff we're made of, man, it's just greedy. It's just greedy. Everything wants to be stable. Everything wants to have 8 valence electrons. Everything wants to be stable. So these things keep aggregating together to be stable, and then sometimes they keep aggregating so much that they literally collapse on themselves. So I'm sure during their progress of building that star, things seem okay. But can you imagine, like, they build so much mass that they literally collapse on themselves? Like, it's kind of the human condition. The whatever. Let's say a star is made of something easy, 1 helium or something like that. Like, it's probably yelling. No, helium's 2. I'm sorry. Hydrogen.
Yeah.
It's probably yelling, like, if it had a conscious, like, stop, like, no more stuff, star, like, stop.
Yeah,
but like,
man.
that's us, and I think we have that same behavior. So like, for me, I think it's asinine to think that, like, we can be any really different naturally. We can well, like Nietzsche says, we can become the overman, and we can be aware of our animal condition, and we can get better. But I think naturally, like, people are going to act just like the elements act, as that's what we are mostly made of. I don't know, 6 elements or something like that. I forgot where I was going with that, but I said it, so it's been said. And shit. We just need to name this podcast and shit.
Mistakes and shit.
Have you ever seen Shuts? Anna saw it yesterday for the first time.
Who?
Shuts. What is
he
it?
saw that. It was when
What is
we went to Chinese food.
It's a pest and termite place called Shuts.
Oh yeah. That's true.
I think you need to sue them.
Yeah, man.
Shit. Everything else good though, man? Gucci.
Yeah, man. It's just, one thing that always sticks with me is, I know this could be a whole other topic, but time.
No, go.
Well, as far as we know, time is unreversible, right? That's
Well, I would
Hawkins.
like to say a disclaimer that anything I say is my opinion, not solid fact on anything quantum mechanics. So,
per Stephen Hawkins, as
can't
far
speak
as
for Hawking.
time is unreversible, right? And
this is a random cast. We need to do a random cast.
It is pretty random. Random cast.
We just need to do random cast like every 5 casts or something.
It's kind of good.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah, we don't have enough data to know what you're talking about in chat.
The reason why I
Does chat even exist?
I don't even fucking know and shit. The reason why I bring up time is just because, like, I constantly find myself thinking about this. It's just like, many people, that are older than me and find that I'm so young are always telling me, oh, you still got all the time in the world. Blah, blah, blah,
I think that's the most loser statement I've ever heard in my life.
Exactly, and I'm just like,
Very loser statement.
I don't want to. I don't want to think like that.
Dude, a real old motherfucker would be like, you better hurry up, young buck. Like,
exactly.
You ain't got a lot of time.
Exactly. Yes.
Dude, the real old motherfuckers I made, they're like, how old are you? 28? Yeah, you're a little behind. You could do a little. And I'm like, dude, the real ones, I got the guap. Man, there.
And that pisses me off when people tell me that. She's like, no, I don't want to think like that, because she's like, keep thinking like that. She's like, next thing you know, I'm going to be 30. And, you know, it's just like.
30 comes quick, man.
And the thing with time is that with time comes decay.
Born to die. You're making a lot of noise. What are you doing that for?
I'm sorry.
Well, I think, Jake, you got something on that?
Man, I guess you could go a lot of places with that.
You could. I don't want to deter it. I want to see where you want to go.
I guess when you were even talking about that last thing was like, I feel like a pattern that I always see in life, and this will apply to time, is a cycle of things, and like a wave function, like sine, cosine, like it tends to a state of order and then subsequently to disorder.
Order and chaos.
Yeah.
And that's what.
And again,
is, right?
I can't validate that. I'm not a physicist.
What's the other entropy, right?
Yeah.
And
yep.
Yeah.
So
reading and shit.
You could say you're highly ordered right now. Very like cohesive functioning unit of atoms. And then you say you would fall to a state of decay, and then your atoms would go elsewhere. Which is valid but they will go on to aggregate into something else.
Other things. You can't destroy matter.
Exactly.
It'll go on to something else. But I think like in the science,
but we can slow down decay through fitness. Let's just say, right? Through health, through let's just say reading. In some sense,
I think that's. Like I think the thing you need to take in mind, and it kind of fits with both of these, is relativity.
Exactly.
Like everything is relative, right? So it's like, let's say, so like I had like my most basic philosophy in life is that all things are alpha and omega. From the evidence we have, everything starts at some point, everything ends. I'm speaking within our universe. I don't know anything outside our universe, but it's gonna end. That's just the way it goes.
Of course.
Now, regardless of what you think,
at the end of the day, we all die of heart failure.
Everybody. So it's like if you think of time and space, right? So I don't know what is like light travel at like 300,000 kilometers. It's like I'm not sure. But that's relative to us, and it travels at the same speed everywhere. So let's say, from the scientific approach, that there was a pop, bang, whatever you want to call it. To me, I live in a atmosphere of 1 bar, and I have gravity. So right now, the Earth from the what is the universe? 13 trillion years old, I think, or something. No, I'm sorry. I don't know get trillion from. 13 billion years old, I think the universe is. So in my reference of time, it's 13 billion years old, and as we know, the universe is expanding out. So it exploded, and it's still exploding. It's still expanding. It's still going. It's going very slow for me because I live in a shit ton of. I live in the Milky Way galaxy. There's a ton of matter in the Milky Way galaxy. Like it's very slow around me. So as far as I know, it's taken 13 billion years to get to this point. Let's say you're light, which light is instant, for the most part. Like, let's say you're light, and the relativity of light from start to finish, it's kind of already over if you're light. So, like, we watch light move across, but we watch it slow because we're in a slow space. But let's fast forward it relative to what light sees. Light banged, that photon banged, and it's already at the end. Like, it's there already. So it's already over. So, like, that begs one question: what is time anyways? Which is way deeper than I can even possibly.
Of course.
I can ask. I know enough that I can ask the question, and that's where I stop in terms of anything like quantumly. 2, I think in terms of social time, everything is relative to another human. Like, what if we found, like, what did you call them? Blue area? What are they called? Blue zones. Blue zones. Like, explain. Actually, okay. So I'll get onto it. I want Jake to explain it. So what if we found a blue zone, untouched, uncontacted tribe, and these people were living 500 years? Everything we know would now be shit. Like, we see somebody at 116 and we're losing our mind. Like, what if you found a blue zone where somebody was 115 years old? Jake can say what a blue zone is better than I can.
I don't know if this is the exact definition, but
It's better than mine.
they're just areas and cultures around the world, essentially, that have the highest concentration of centenarians. So people 100 or over in their culture. So a lot of, I guess, health-based research, you would look at these societies and say, oh, what are they doing? They're living so long.
Relative to us that we're doing wrong. But what if you found that patch? That was people were 300 years old. Like, what would you even do? Like, now relativity changes, so that kind of ties back to like why at the beginning of the conversation with mistakes and fear. Why I have no real big mistake, regret, or fear in my life. Like, I can't keep looking at other motherfuckers to tell me what I'm gonna be. Like, if I keep looking for relativity, I'm never gonna be happy ever. Like, dude, I thought I was a pretty decent powerlifter in the 93s. Then Jesse Norris came back around. Like, should I let Jesse ruin it? Should Lane, should we all let Jesse ruin our day? Yes. No, I'm talking about. Like, but dude, like, Jesse in a weird fucked up way. I don't know if Jesse knows this, and I don't know if Jesse will even hear this, but like, Jesse doesn't count to us because in our world, Jesse is so great. And Jesse is so far beyond any of, like, every day I say Jesse. People ask me about Jesse. I'm like, Jesse, real deal, man. Just 100% real deal. Like, that's it. He's so real that it's like, all right, I'll just go for second. Like, I've quit because if I keep my relativity up, then I'm trying to chase Jesse. Like, if 50 Cent says get rich or die trying, I would die trying. Like, I would die trying.
Even if he was at his worst.
So, dude,
on his worst day.
On his worst, he did have his worst day at Nationals. He smoked us. Yeah, dude, he won in the warm up room. Like, his last warm up was like, I think his last warm up was like 100 pounds more than my final attempt. Like, that's how good he was. Ben just got here with a very nice Tesla shirt. We're doing an impromptu cast and shit.
Random cast.
We need to start doing random cast. Like, just.
Well, I mean, this
is recording live right now.
We should have done this.
Yeah.
We should have done this at Nationals.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But everyone was tired and shit. So this is Chet's day. You want to say hi?
Hi.
Ben said hi. So that's relativity, and that's why I can't get my life harped up on it, because whether it's in the aggregate cosmic sense, it's like, well, my life is pretty much over. There's no point. If photons are already there, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I just gotta live what I gotta live and just do mine. Like, I got today, I got now. Silver and silver.
That's a Buddhist trick, though, dude.
That is.
Like, you gotta know that it doesn't matter, but also you just do it anyway.
Exactly.
I cannot wrap my head around it, but
a lot of people
one day I'll get it.
And that's the thing. That's the problem. Comes back to the social media. A lot of people are always chasing this, physique or goals that it's just like they're always gonna be unhappy.
But here's the thing, though, Jorge. Like, it was social media was around before, right? And before social media, it was movies, and then before movies, it was TV, and then before TV, it was radio, then it was newspaper. It's always somebody fucking you up.
Yeah, but the sample size now is
pretty ridiculous.
Way higher.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous. But dude, then there was always ridiculousness. It was like tale, folklore of Thor, or these of what's. I'm never gonna be Thor. Yeah, what's Thor's dad? Odin, yeah. Right? Like, and there was always something to fuck us up if it wasn't social media. And I think that one drives the desire of humans. Like, we need that desire portion of us to, like, really propel forward and shit out of relativity. Because, like, again, if I think Jake and I talked about this, if you lived in just like a let's say what'd you call it, an orgasm zone box or something,
orgasm chamber.
If you lived
hyperbolic chamber of orgasms.
This is how unoriginal this is. I'm not to say the most unoriginal thing ever. Well, this is allegory. Who wrote Allegory of the Cave?
Plato
was it
or
Plato?
Socrates?
One of either
Socrates.
Yeah, one of the two. So yeah, well, it's Allegory of the Cave. It's not me who thought about this. It's essentially what you know is what you know. So if you lived in Jorge's ridiculous orgasm chamber, did you get that from Dragon Ball Z? Is that why you said chamber?
Yeah. Hyperbolic chambers from Dragon Ball
Z. So if you lived in an orgasm chamber, and everyone you knew lived in an orgasm chamber, and then I walk up to you and I'd be like, hey guys, I broke out of the orgasm chamber. I found that, like, You don't need to live here. You can like go and live this life and it's better, and there's like food and there's restaurants. Everyone would laugh at me.
Of course.
Like, and that's allegory of the cave, right? Like, everyone would laugh at you if you're the only one with extremely ridiculous relativity. And I think that's the gift and the curse of having accumulated knowledge from others over the years. And I think, honestly, the more I understand about Einstein, I think that's what he struggled with really a lot more, is that he would try to tell people shit, and they would just be like, you're crazy and shit.
Serious. And shit.
What's up, Ben? How was at my 40?
Amazing. I was the only one there.
I need to go. Shout out to Ben Pack.
Tomorrow, maybe. Oh no, we can't.
Show all day
I
tomorrow.
was gonna ask him if he was gonna.
I thought that was in Boca. That's in here. That's in here in Tampa.
Yeah,
It's
it's
15
yeah.
minutes away.
Oh, true.
And shit.
I read between sets. It was amazing. I got this. Actually, people can just a little bit teaser.
Okay. Ben's got
Teaser
something.
trailer.
Teaser break. So I got this book.
Hold on.
Sports drinks.
This
I'll hold it.
I got a new Brook.
That's weird.
And this new Brook, this reviews what will be our next product, and that's the end of the statement.
Damn.
It's called Sports Drinks, if anyone wants to read it. And I bet you still won't come up with what we come up with.
So it's gonna be good.
It's relativity. You're not going to go in his head what he's read for the past 29 years. And shit.
Yeah, I think so. We've been listening to people. That's one thing, and something that people have mentioned a lot that they'd like to see. So we took that feedback in, and we're gonna create from that feedback and
A new child.
a new
A company of the people. You ask, ye shall
Receive.
Dude, but that's what people want, is creation.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all they want, is creation. Create something for me to help my life or to make me not fear it anymore. That page, I fucking love science, when it's like, scientists have now discovered something, and people are like, a big sigh of relief, like, oh, thank you, magic scientists. Now my life is better. I no longer have to worry about carbon in the atmosphere. Thank you. Like, create to make me more efficient, time-wise, and or less fearful of things.
That's where we're
But things also like that also spread just out of a lot of negative emotion too. Be afraid of this. Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's
Oh, just
what I mean.
like, what is it called? Fear something. What is that
I
called?
don't know.
Fear rendering?
Mongering?
No. Fear mongering. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Just an aside, I guess.
Isn't that, you don't have to hold it. Isn't that the beauty though of, like, I think being able to be part of something that doesn't have to utilize that,
Yeah, exactly.
because that's everybody else's game, right? Like,
You should be afraid that you're gonna lose your gains.
It
So
works,
you gotta,
though.
yeah.
It's like sex
so,
cells.
but and that's the funny thing. It works. Well, I don't want to repeat the same line, but it works until it doesn't work.
Absolutely.
And what that means, though, and you brought up Einstein before, is like what he kind of did was he brought in a new wave when he recognized something that other people didn't, that was missing, if that makes sense. And
What's going on in your microphone, buddy?
Oh my god.
started watching something.
Turn it up. It's recording on the microphone.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Shut.
Anyway, the point is,
the most views.
it definitely will. It
I
definitely
think
will.
this is gonna be the best.
It's the most entertaining. There's no doubt.
Right.
There's no doubt. Tane, we got Tane here. We brought Tane. Let me see a nude Tane.
43.
Anyway, the point is that I think there's a wave. There's an old wave of supplements, of supplement creation, and I guess it's ambitious to say, but I think we're the new wave because we're playing by different rules, and those rules are just that we don't need to play by those old rules.
Well, we couldn't. Well,
I'm not talking to the mics.
we couldn't if we want to. If we wanted to, we would die if every day I had to get out there and be like, all right, well, let's make posts of our 12 sexy bikini models,
Yeah.
and our 10 sexy ripped ab guys, and like I would die if I have to. I would die. So like the only option,
My life is a
we
lie.
have. Go ahead.
That's what it'd feel like.
Yeah. So the only option we have is to do this because that's just who we are, or I guess.
Give me living
Yes.
Basically,
Yeah.
basically,
100%.
yeah, 100%.
So, I guess say something.
Mic check 1 2 1 2.
You've been dropping bombs all day, and then you get your fucking phone, talk shit about social media, then gets lost in the fucking phone.
I was Snapchatting and shit. It's good. It's good to be reunited.
I'm sorry, I don't want to hijack the theme of this. What was it? Was there a theme of this?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It started off with mistakes and time and fear and.
But that's okay. Mistakes is
social
good.
media.
So mistakes is good. I think going along the previous line is that what is a fundamental thing I think most people want in a supplement, in a product. Like, why do people use supplements? So it works, right?
Exactly.
Like, so it gives them
a
something
belief that it works.
right.
Yeah.
But here's the difference: is you can buy something on the belief that it works. But what if it
then
actually
can
works?
also
Then?
work. Yeah.
Right. So if you believe it's going to work and then it actually works, now you have something perceivably real.
Exactly.
So if you can make something that works and allow people to believe that it works, because it does, why not just do it that way?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean,
It's logic.
anyway, that's why we have this book. New product, new bunch of books in the bookshelf.
De novo,
I would also
new
like to
beginnings.
say,
You remember the beginning of Utopian?
That's
Yeah.
right.
You're one of the first testers.
this new
Fucking lot.
product will be out, and one of my favorite artists said this about his album. It'll be out when it's finished. Like, that's literally all I can really say about it. Like, when it's done, you know who said that, Anna?
I know Kendrick said that.
Talib Kweli, you're wrong. Get out.
Talib
Kanye said it too.
Kweli.
Please hold your pause at the end. Any more deep shit? We're just basically letting Jorge dump out shit.
It's
Shit. I'm sorry. Shit. Asterisk. Any more deep shit? Or are you
Tell
done?
us about your bodybuilding career.
He's already talked about all that.
Oh wow.
Not for nothing. I mean, he's
Have
talked
I
about it.
talking about that?
And we talked about it off mic.
Oh yeah, off mic. Yeah. Basically.
Tell the people about your bodybuilding endeavors.
So tell us how it started, right? So be real.
Okay, so how I started in the fitness industry.
No, I
in
don't fucking
general.
care. How's it going? How do you feel differently now? How are you doing? What are you finding yourself?
Basically, like I was telling Jake, with the whole social media thing, before
It was not for nothing.
before the whole social media and everything, I was just completely in. That's not to say that I'm not in love with it, but it's for example, it's just like, let's just take a relationship. It's just like, all right, you love this person, but you're not in love with them, right? And I think
Real, raw.
that's
Real
how,
talk.
that's how I go in all day. But wait a minute. Rapid tools, guys, don't be a fool. Anyways, I lost my train of thought.
How you feeling with bodybuilding?
Exactly. So I think that's where I'm at right now. Like,
Now you're in
I
love with
love
the
it.
cocoa.
I love it, but I'm just not in love with it.
You need a
and-
break.
Yeah, man.
Let me pose a question right there. So, isn't part of this? I don't want to get sappy, but isn't part of being loved that love transforms? So you might not feel like you're in love with the old version of it, but you might be finding a new version of it that you still love because you're still doing it, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah. I mean,
But what if you only want the old version?
and that's the same reason. Like I was just telling Jake, that's why I'm actually going back to school, and just to try to find that love that I felt from the beginning, and maybe this will allow me to feel that way again about it. And I feel like I was telling Jake, I feel like that's gonna be a new season of life for me, and it could potentially, present a lot of opportunities. Maybe good opportunities, maybe bad opportunities. It'll make me realize that this is not what I want to pursue.
But still a valuable lesson.
Right.
Exactly, still a valuable lesson. But in order for me to find out, I need to
Yeah.
I need to take action.
Right.
I need to
just
be
do it.
So
biased towards action, right?
So, I guess something that would, I guess we like having takeaways from these, right? I think something that anybody who's made it this far, which hopefully all of you have, I think a takeaway from that point, which is a great point, and I'm happy that you started talking about it, is that, so you know fitness Jorge, and other people know fitness Jorge, but you're getting a chance now to find real Jorge. So the best part about it is that now you can pursue other things and become a better version of yourself, but in the long run, if you stay in fitness, you can give more back too, because you're not just consumed by it. So I think that's a beautiful thing, is like, I think one of the worst things is to be like a one-trick pony, where it's just like, this is the only mode of me, this is all I know, all I know how to do. And because what happens when fitness is gone, then that version of you is gone, and it feels like it's dead, and you don't know who you are. So I applaud that. I think that's awesome, and I think it's good for people to hear that you're doing that, because they might still see social media Jorge and think he loves, and you might still love it, but you're growing, not just physically. And Chet?
Yeah. No, it's the funny thing is, it's just like, you know, I in some sense I no longer know, let's just say 2013 George, where he was the momentum that I was able to create from a physique building aspect. It's just no longer there, and I feel like I need to, you know, go through a different avenue to potentially, you know, get that dopamine release that I used to get from, you know, this specific thing being fitness and, you know, lifting, because like you said, I just don't want to be, because you know, and that's the thing. Okay, I feel like with this whole social media thing, or just anybody in general, is not anybody in general, I take that back. It's just, for example, somebody that's just focused on having the best physique in general. It's just like, all right, you're ripped for a certain period of time, and then you're done your show, and then you never hear from that person again.
Yeah.
It's just like, whatever happened to blah blah blah, or it's just like, and then 5 years later you come back out, and it's just like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to basically, you know, offer more. I want to say, stay, just not. I don't want to lose that momentum in between. In between, exactly. Like, I just want to keep it there, because I feel like momentum is a big driver of let's just say success in some sense, growth, and you know, becoming the better version or the strongest version of yourself, right? And I feel that once you lose that momentum, it can actually hold you back in some sense. I don't know, not hold you back, but,
Well, it's almost like you're limiting yourself, right?
Degressing.
Right, you're handcuffed, kind
Degressing, exactly. Degress.
And so that ties in actually a lot to our last podcast, where we were kind of talking about positive reinforcement of things you're pursuing. And I think, number one, thank you for sharing all that stuff. That's actually,
of course,
I like hearing it, so I think everybody else will probably like hearing it too.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's an interesting part of fitness, is that at some point you realize, and I don't want to be gender biased, the boys or the girl dream when you're 18, 19, 20 might not turn out to be the same thing that it was when it originally became that pure just endeavor, and you could afford doing it because you're doing it on someone else's dime usually, right? So at some point you have to enter kind of the real world, where you do need to get a full-time job. Fitness and training and eating can't be your full-time job because it can consume you. And I think that's it's very defining what you choose to do at that point in the road, because everybody reaches that crossroad at some point.
I agree.
And as I was listening to you, I was thinking about my own, and I made this post a while ago of like from my last bodybuilding show, and I just said I don't even know who this person is anymore. It was just a picture from last time I dieted, which was like 3-4 years ago. And I think it's almost like shedding. It's like you're a reptile and you're shedding that version of the skin that no longer, like, you need to kind of turn it over.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
But what are you shedding to do? Because on one fork of the path, you can shed and keep chasing the same thing that you shed it off, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, it's like, I pursued this thing, I didn't really get any return, but I'm going to keep stubbornly trying in some way.
And not to interrupt you, but that's when we started a podcast with, there's two types of mistakes, actual mistakes and experimental mistakes.
Yes.
And then that's when you're stubborn like that, that's when you turn the experimental mistake into an actual mistake.
So, I'm basically going to reinforce the same thing, but I guess everybody has their personal philosophy of, how they look at, taking poor paths in life or making the wrong decisions. And no one likes failing. And I think this is a common theme of what we talk about in the house too, is like, if you start something with the fear of failing it, you've kind of already lost.
You've defeated yourself,
because there's really only one version of failure, and that means I tried and I stopped trying. What happens, and I think I wrote this a while ago, is like failure, quote unquote, are beautifully packaged life lessons. Because perceivably to the outside person who says, I'm going to use multiple personal examples. I failed classes in undergrad. I failed a class in grad school. And it was a great life lesson. And the reality of it was I wasn't ready to pass that class because I didn't care enough. Therefore, I didn't have the competencies that I needed. So I remember I talked to my advisor in undergrad because I really wanted my nutrition degree. And she said, well, you're a half point below passing. I can't give it to you. And she said, so you have a choice to make. You can graduate on time, or with a general education like something degree, or this class is only offered once a year because it's accelerated. It's 6 credits. You can stay the extra year and only take that class and pass with your nutrition degree. So I went home. I thought about it, and I thought, okay. Naturally, I was embarrassed. I think it's kind of an embarrassing thing.
Yeah.
Especially that it wasn't this hard science course. It was just super disinteresting. It was food service management, like not what I was going to nutrition for. And right. So that ties into the point, is that I stayed the extra year. I took exercise science classes. I got an extra minor. So I didn't just take it as a loss. I did everything I could positive with the failure, and I passed. And ironically, the RD exam is a lot of food service management stuff, and a lot of the warehouse stuff is a lot of food service management stuff. So I now, in this strange way, I seek out failing, because what happens is the thing that you failed at, you were so embarrassed that you remember it the best. So, like, I remember also in courses.
To jump in real quick, but sure. That's like I was just telling them, that's when you really become an innovator, and
because why? Because the person whose ego is dominating them is, I'm embarrassed, I feel terrible, I'm going to walk away with my tail between my legs. Whereas, like, it's embarrassing to fail.
Of course.
Everybody has somewhat of an ego.
Of course.
We're
all egotistic.
But can you separate that part, look at it objectively, and say, I was actually wrong.
Yeah.
I deserve to be wrong. I deserve to fail. So that's how I always pursued when I went into my master's program. I pursued it as, I'm going to be the idiot in class who yells out the answer. And so every time the teacher would say, like, what's this, I'd answer, even if I was fucking wrong, because then I'd be wrong and I'd remember it. So it's like, it's the world, the physical world is what you allow it to be to you. If you want it to be your textbook and remember the answers, it's like you said to me a long time ago. It's like, what did you say? You satisfy yourself when you respond to someone's question?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, I'm just reviewing to lock it in the crystallized knowledge.
It's funny that you say that, because a lot of the times that I actually, let's just say, vent, or, for example, like, I'm speaking to you guys right now, but in reality, I'm actually speaking to myself. Like, I'm actually just telling myself, because I feel like it's not the same thing when you tell yourself in your head, but when you actually hear yourself out loud, it's just more ingrained in. And it's the same thing with reading and stuff like that. It's just like when you read stuff, it's all relative, right? Like, some people are better at through videos or audio or reading. It's just like, you got to find what's best suits you, and what do you feel that you learn the best from, or the fastest, or what actually ingrains more. And just for me, it would be more audio, just because of my hectic work schedule, right? Sure. It's just like, I sadly work an 8 to 5 job, so it's just like, I can't just sit down and read a book. But I'm fortunate enough that they don't give me shit for having my headphones plugged in, so I listen to audiobooks. It's just like, what's the next best thing, right? It's just like,
being resourceful.
And the thing, the beauty about my job is that it's kind of, I don't have to think about it. So it's just like, I could literally just do it. For most of you guys that don't know, I work for Porsche Orlando, and I'm a detailer for them. So now it's to the point that I can literally do that with my eyes closed. So it allows me to multitask and focus on other things, as opposed to just focusing on that or thinking about that specific task that I have to do, which is it's not going to benefit me in my end goal, right? And I guess that's why, as of lately, it's just like, man, like, I really want to leave this job and all this stuff. But now with the whole thing with school, since I plan on going back to school, I started to look at it in a positive way. It's just like, all right, this actually makes me happier thinking about it this way. And the way that I was thinking about it, it's just like, all right, now that I want to go back to school, this would be my best option, because I'm commissioned and I've been here so long that they'll be flexible with me. They'll give me the time that I need for school, and my managers are all for it. Like, I already spoken with them. So now it's just like, I don't hate my job as much. It's just like, I'm only doing this. It's just a temporary thing, right? It's just like, all right, I'm sacrificing this for the better. And yeah, man, it's just, I'm actually very excited and interested in what this so-called new season of life has to offer, and the new beginnings and the new doors, and again, that's not to say that everything that I've done have, like I was just telling Jake, have led me to here. Like, for example, like those the last 2 or 3 years that I was completely consumed by fitness, like all I did was train, and everything led me to here, basically. Like, I wouldn't have not earned the respect from you guys, or I'm saying, the followers and supporters and stuff like that, if I didn't put in that time, if I didn't grind that, right? But regardless, but
it's yours though, and I think that's one thing people don't get about life. It's like, you said, like, oh, I've been there so long, it's flexible. Like, yeah, you own that though. Like, them being flexible with you, that's not luck, or that's not like, that was time. That was your time. Like, you bought that in your time there. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, in your loyalty there. So, like, not for nothing. Like, don't feel bad if like, and I tell this to Jake all the time. I'm like, man, you want to go home? Go home. Don't feel bad. Like, you've bought enough time that you can go. Like, I don't care. Like, go. Like, go. Like, but like, you've done that. Like, you've invested your time. That like, the least they owe you is like be flexible with it. You know. So I think like
yeah, I agree with you. And as of lately, I just I feel that as a society we're too much of consumers.
Oh man, I think I called Ben the other day.
As an
and I lost my mind. Like,
as opposed to being more investors.
I went to the mall probably. Oh yeah. I forgot. I was buying some Vans. I bought these new shoes. I went to the mall. And it was this nice mall. And it was like very.
Tampa, the one that.
No, it wasn't that. It wasn't. It was by the airport. Yeah, dude, and it was like, entrepreneurship. You don't know what day it is. You just kind of go, and so I went on a Saturday. Like the day to go to the mall, like at like 2 o'clock, like 2 or 3 o'clock, and dude, like it was just like people flooded buying stuff, and I'm like, so wait, let me get this right. Monday through Friday, you work like all day, and then if you're lucky, you get one day where you can go and spend it in more corporations.
Give it back to
and
them.
give it right back to them.
Yeah.
Like, dude, when I was in New York, dude, I went to Times Square. I was there for 5 minutes. I got right back on the train. Like, dude, it was just us. It was people buying stuff, advertisements everywhere, and in the middle of it was just, I thought it was beautiful. It was the fucking NASDAQ. It was just amazing. Like, the stock exchange was just, dude, I thought it was just corporation, consume. And it's like, dude, if you don't be careful, like, you're gonna get lost and eating too much. Well, ironically, we statistically have had that problem now, physically with food, but like, even of the mind.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Do you really need, like, I think I'm on Game of Thrones season. How many seasons are there done? Anna? I'm on 3. And like, I feel like I don't deserve that dessert until we make another breakthrough. Like, maybe when we, like, I have a goal in my mind financially that we have, and once we do it, they are going to watch me sit and watch Game of Thrones for 4 days.
I'll watch it with you.
I'm gonna watch. I deserve those. Like, what makes you think that it's like, oh God, I'm gonna watch Game of Thrones? Like, what the fuck did you do? Like, what did you do to earn your keep? Like, I feel like people need to be in with consumerism. It's like, do you deserve? And this is why I guess growing up I was never like overweight or anything, even with food. It's because like even Ben sees me. Like, I'm just not big on taking in a lot. Like, I don't need a lot, and like I see how much people consume, and it blows my mind. Ben has Buffalo Ranch. I've never even had Buffalo Ranch. Like, buffalo is one thing, you gotta deal with the spice. Ranch is another thing, you gotta deal with the fat and the whatever. Buffalo Ranch.
It's so good, man.
All right, I'll get the catch. Actually, I'm gonna Coke Zero right now. You got something?
I have to pee really bad.
Go ahead and pee. Just set that down. Just give it to Ben, actually. One thing I was gonna say, we said it probably like 20 minutes ago, is don't play yourself. Don't ever play yourself. Don't play yourself on the carryover though, because dude, the carryover is mean, and it's like the more you live life, I've noticed, the more I'm seeing that like it's all kind of the same. So like, dude, this last Raw Nationals came in top 10 it. Like, I'm new to powerlifting, but I'm really not, because I've been squatting since I was 14 years old. Like, I get how to lift weights. I get how to time out of prep. And like,
you've been doing hip extension your whole life. You run up the stairs mimicking hip extension
every single time.
So you have been primed to do this for a long time.
Yeah.
And this is really funny, actually. Last night I was actually re-listening to some of our podcasts, and I came upon your channel, and I watched the video of you versus Cleveland, and I was like, God damn, who's that guy? Like, because obviously, there's changes with your switch, but I couldn't get over like the size of your friggin' legs.
Yeah.
And we, again, these are all things that we're kind of rehashing in some of the podcasts, but it's no mistake that you squat what you do now, and that you will inevitably squat a lot more. Because to some degree, obviously, form follows function. And again, you've been primed for that motor pattern your whole life.
To get it
your
done
whole
there.
life.
Yeah.
And it's no mistake that this is something statistically that you read, and this is part of the NSCA CSCS test. I think it's like basically sprint speed is primarily a leg strength factor. So especially like when you're out of blocks,
Yeah.
because that's the whole point, is being in blocks, you're falling towards the ground.
Yeah.
So you have to accelerate horizontally, or
And
you're
then
going
stride-
to just fall on your face.
And then a lot of your stride length is bone segments, but also
Yep.
how far you can
exactly
push on each stride.
Exactly.
Yeah, strength. That's why most I know the Olympic standard, like my little brother and stuff. So like an Olympic sprinter and jumper, they should be able to squat 3.5 times their body weight, all of them, like to be an Olympic. So I mean, they're doing what better than powerlifters are works wise. A
Yep.
lot of them, like on the squat,
Yeah.
not on other lifts, but they're amazingly strong. And so
go ahead. Sorry.
and so to tie it back from like sports life, like it's no mistake that the next thing you'll do you'll be good at. Like if you got good at bodybuilding and your followers, you're close to like 20 or 1,000 or something now, like there's no mistake that the next thing you're gonna do take those talents over. So like you saying like, yeah, I don't know what the next thing is, and there's fear. Sure, there is some to some degree, but like you are well equipped with a nice base, and then the next thing you do is going to be a nice base. So like one thing we always say in the house is like, yeah, blah blah blah, we say after de novo, right? We always say it, and to most people it probably sounds like dismal future, but it's not, because like I was watching like one of our new favorite people in this house, ironically enough, he's wearing a Tesla t-shirt right now, Elon Musk. Like he did PayPal and he tore it up.
PayPal was a stepping stone.
PayPal was his stepping stone.
Multi-billion-dollar stepping stone.
Yes, dude. And like I was watching, I follow Gary Vee now very recently, and he's doing this company. He's like, yeah, I'm doing it, and blah blah. He's like, it's making me do what I want to do. He's like, I enjoy it, I love it. He was like, but I know what I want to do. I need the stepping stone. So like, you got to keep stepping. That's capitalism. You got to step on one thing, shake those profits, and profits isn't always fiscal. Like profit can be shit you learned of the mind, like, and so like our like confidence. So like, dude, like Raw Nationals is my first national meet, dude. I've been doing those level type of competitions since I was 13 years old.
Great point.
Like
Psychologically, you were prepared.
it was nothing to me. It was like I've been here before.
I like that.
Here's something I actually want to bring up. It's partly a segue, but it's an important point building on that I don't think most people know, is that because of the situation, which admittedly it's partly my fault as well, of so many lifters in the 93 class, people only saw what happened on the platform with lifters like Ryan and LS, but I'm still mind blown. Like, your last warm-up was what, 150 pounds below your opener?
Yeah, it was like 405, I
and
think.
You opened with
580 or something, like 570.
So that is a factor that separates an inherent athlete.
Yeah.
Is okay.
Well, we ran out of time. I didn't purposely do that.
Right? Yeah. No.
we
That's
ran
why I
out of
said
time,
it was my fault too, because
Yeah.
I was supposed to. I mean, it was just going unpredictably fast, but it didn't change the game plan at all for you.
No.
You still went 3 for 3, still hit a squat PR, and hit your opener at like ridiculous velocity. So again, I think that lends credence to some degree to the fact that you've been there before. You've probably been in a shitty situation with the meat
many times.
Yep, and you have to. So a lot of times you're not.
But I fucked that up before.
You have to
So
react
I've learned
fast.
from my mistakes, like we were
Exactly.
saying earlier.
Exactly.
Like I fucked that situation up so many times and couldn't figure out. And it's taken me almost 30 minutes. It's taken me years to figure it out.
Yep.
Most people would have had a terrible meet, man.
So those define you. Those
Absolutely.
screw ups define you. What you do after.
You're what was it? I forgot the quote. You're a product of.
Your environment?
Nah, you're a product of your mistakes. Maybe I think that's what it was. Does
I'm
that
sure
make sense?
I'm sure there's something.
shit
Something
like
like
that.
that. Something along those lines.
Yep.
Something like that.
But yeah, I mean,
Feel like I'm holding
I
a corn dog
totally.
here.
Huh?
Holding a corn dog.
Sorry, Brandon, because you're gonna be so mad. We decided to hold the mics in our hand and not use the pop filters today. So
Oh boy.
yeah, he's gonna be not happy. It's not gonna be pretty good.
I like that. What you just used there about, you know, basically being in that environment.
Yeah,
the
been there
psychological
before.
standpoint of the competition.
But I paid for
level,
it, dude. But I paid
of
for it, dude. But I paid for it. Like there was this dude. I'll tell you a story. And there's this dude, Kenneth Hall. You guys can Google this. Google Kenneth Hall, triple jump. I doubt Kenny's listening to this. Kenny was from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we were at No, it wasn't nationals. It was Junior Olympics. Yeah, we were at Junior Olympics. My sophomore year, I think, my sophomore or junior year, and like my ranking was like real nice that year. Like I just took like third at state. Like I was like thinking I was gonna come in. I was top 10 without a doubt. Like I thought I was gonna come in there and flex. This dude Kenneth Hall comes in. I've told Ben this story slightly. This dude Kenny Hall comes in, and he comes in with a really decent ranking. Like I think I had to be a sophomore because I think I jumped the sophomore year. Relative. Okay, so I'll give you some relativity for people who don't know triple jump. So my little brother is a professional triple jumper, and he jumps about 55 feet. Okay, that's what professionals do. When I was in high school,
Amateurs like me in high school go about 35.
okay, so like a normal triple jumper went about 35. You guys going now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna get there at like 12:30. So.
I'm coming back here.
Oh yeah, I think we may go to Powerhouse or some shit. So.
Well, I'm coming back here.
All right, I'll see you guys. I just wanted to get some photos and shirts and stuff like that. Yeah. And so what time? I don't know. I may just fucking skip it. But anyways, so this guy, he's kind of this unknown guy, and he had a really good wind aided jump, so it didn't count. It was probably like 49.11 or something. It was a really good jump. I probably came in, I think, at like 47.3 or something like that. Around that time, I was probably jumping that or so. And so I was like nationally ranked, and it seemed fair. Like my little brother left high school at 52, right? So like it seemed okay. Like it seemed like a good. He was basically what my little brother was. So this dude Kenny, he were warming up, and triple jump in America for the most part is just a ton of black dudes who all have minimal 40 inch verticals and can run a 40 yard dash in like, I'm sorry, he has a 40 yard dash in like 4.2. Oh, you guys forgot that?
I got it.
In like 4.2. So anyways, we're all talented, and this dude Kenny comes up, and we're warming up, and it's a lot of shit talking and warm up because it's just young black kids, like, you know. And he comes up, he like does this like arm exercise, and he's like, he has this huge gap in his teeth, and he's like 6'2", he's so tall. He's like, I remember he was like, which one of y'all about to take second? And he just said it to the whole group. He said, which one of y'all about to take second? Dude, my stomach was like, what? Like, it fucked with me. Like, it fucked me up. Like, and so I'm like trying to stay on my game, and I'm like, and then he's talking to another dude from Virginia who I knew was good, and I'm like, fuck, these dudes are better than me, and blah, 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 and I'm going back and forth. And so, like, we go out, we jump. This motherfucker, man, first jump out the gate, 52 feet. Like, boom. Like, by the time he finished his third jump, he jumped 55.10. My little brother's a professional grown male. Goes 55.2, 55.5. Like, 55 feet, 10 inches. Boom. Booms us. Breaks the national, he still holds it. Breaks the national record for high school. Dude, you know what I did? It was my first, what's it called? What the fuck is it called? Junior Olympics? I scratched out. He fucked me up. Dude, I scratched out. Like, I couldn't even focus. Like, I was so mind blown. So, reiterating back to Jesse.
Was that there?
No, that was in Oregon.
Oh, okay. I can
No.
remember the story. Oh, you told me the story.
That was in Oregon, yeah. Nike Town, USA, Oregon. So, like, and then like, people were getting Nikes if they won and shit, and I fouled out. I'm like, fuck. Dude, so when I saw Jesse Norris, I was like, real deal. I've seen you for a long time. Like I
versions of you.
Just play my game. Dude, you know what I did at Nationals? I literally wore my headphones. I talked to Jake, Jason Tremblay, shout out to the Straight Guys, or Ben. Or if LS wanted to say something to me. Like, dude, all the dudes in the 93s. I remember Lane at one point tried to say something to me. I just didn't. I ignored it. Like if you weren't exactly in my operation, I have no interest. Like, don't even stop talk. I told many people, don't talk to me. Stop talking. Like, stop. Like, because, dude, I've been in the Kenny Hall situation before. Like, and so, like, these experiences add up. So, like, me, right? I have to be one of the hardest people to text. I have to be, right? And it's not because I don't love you. It's because don't fuck me up today. I need to get this job done. Like, and I've carried that over. So, like, that's the carryover. Like, that Kenny Hall thing taught me, like, I can't let somebody mess up my game. And that's why, like, I'm the worst person when I'm working.
Get out the zone.
Dude, like, it's either let them get you out the zone or be a little rude. I'll take a little rude. This motherfucker, he got an auto response for a text message on his phone. An auto response for a text message. I was mind blown. I was like, yo, like right now I have, let's say I'm gonna guess 4. About right, 3 text messages I haven't read. It seems about right for the time that I haven't picked up my phone, but I'm ignoring them because I got a random cast right now. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Don't be afraid to get it and carry over. Like that same prep focus, dude. De Novo Nutrition is a prep. That's all it is. Call my mom maybe 4 or 5 times a week. My dad, he maybe gets 1 or 2. My brothers, I text them every day. Like, and if you're not in the operation, can't fuck, dude. You think I fuck with you? Ask a motherfucker who ain't part of De Novo how much I talk to them, and it's zero. It sounds so bad, but like that's how I have to operate personally.
But I think there's again multiple lines that can extend from that. And one of them, I guess, that I would just respond to is that it's a very, God, I can be annoying in the things I repeat, but
You're talking that mic.
I think there's an elegant simplicity to things, like we talked about it before in the programming one, where, you know, let's boil it down to these fundamental factors that are controlling things. And I think there's uniting lines when you learn anything in science, or you just observe a lot of things and you just follow the uniting lines and let them kind of let them unfold and just watch and observe. And I think that's something that also applies to life, which is, it's very simple. If you want something, there is no side, there's no nothing.
None.
It's very simple.
None.
It's a very objective, universal truth. And all that means is, I want to do this. This is first. The best you're going to get is second. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is.
And I think a real life example of that, and a lot of people pass it off as cute and funny, is that everyone, especially in fitness, has gotten hangry before. Think about this level of seriousness you have when you're hungry. Dude, that is my life. That's our life. 24. I act this, what I want to accomplish, what we want to accomplish, to me it's no different than hunger. Don't talk to me. I'm cranky when I don't eat, but I'm cranky when I don't accomplish.
Thus, this is why it's a prep. And I think it's the beauty of being able to learn things from fitness that you can learn from any other thing. It just so happens that we learn them from fitness. So like, for example, like Jorge, you said, you know, moving on to the next thing of life. There's things that you've learned in fitness that you're going to be able to carry to
for sure,
to move on.
For sure.
And like, who's the classical example of that? Why does everybody look up to him? Arnold. Like, it's very simple. People laughed at him when he said he wanted to be an actor. If you watch the outtakes of Pumping Iron, he talks about it. Like, this was in the 70s. And
in a meeting talking about, I think I want to get into acting.
Yeah, like, and they're interviewing him. Like, one of them's like in a car. Guess what? He fucking did it.
Yeah.
So no one's laughing now. Everybody's going to laugh when you say it. But after you do it, oh, I believe in you all wrong.
Of course.
Okay.
Bullshit. Those mics are actually too close. Those mics are too close.
Yeah, we're probably going to get a lot of feedback.
Yeah, there's probably feedback.
I'm sorry, Brandon.
But like the thing about Arnold that it's always amazed me is that think about the place in life where you are. Like, you've accomplished a great deal of things relative to your starting position and who gave you anything in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And Arnold did the same, and he moved on and wasn't afraid to move on. And so, like, dude, every day I ever get the question, when are you going to go back to bodybuilding?
Next thing.
Dude, and people say, when are you bodybuilding again? When are you bodybuilding again? I probably might. I don't know. I'm not sure. But the reality is, like, if I'm going to idolize Arnold, let's idolize Arnold. Let's do what he did. He kept moving on. Like, you think when he wasn't governor, people were saying he didn't do one movie when he was governor. He didn't do one movie.
And now he's doing movies again.
And now he's doing movies again.
Yep.
It's just same thing with bodybuilding.
And lifting again.
Yeah. You'll get back to it when you get back to it. And you can't let people guilt you into their monotony and consistency of what they want to see from you. Like, that's why, Kanye West is one of my favorite people. Because he shouts, don't try to box me. Like, don't tell me what I am. Like, what if I told Ben, hey, your COO, your formulator, don't tell me shit. Like, when Ben came downstairs and told me cells are down, and if I looked at him, I said, shut your mouth. Like, how ridiculous would that be? Like, how ridiculous would that be? And that's how I feel when people say things in Kanye the same way. You bodybuild. Get back to bodybuilding and entertain me, boy. Like, it's like, man, like, I'm going to salsa and move on to salsa. And then after that, I'm going to move on to this, move on to that. And, dude, it's like, you're going to be dead one day, and you got a piece of shit limestone with some fucking English hieroglyphs carved in them, and they're gonna say some random fact about your life, and it's gonna be like that's pretty much it. Like, and what are you gonna do with that? Like, while it's here, you may as well just don't worry about what people. It's because everyone's gonna die, get the same cremation or get the same.
It's just like, I don't know where this. I don't know where I heard this from, but it's just like he was saying. He was like, okay, so once you die, and everybody else that you know dies, it's just like if you were never born again. It's just like if you never born.
That's Alan Watts. Yeah, it's like, but that gets into a belief system as well, right?
Yeah,
that's
of
saying
course.
you're,
but
but that's saying that you don't believe in the theist or monotheism point of view, right? So like that's a whole different thing. Yeah, that's a whole different random cast.
Yeah, if ever.
If ever.
But I think there is an important thing to touch on with the Kanye thing, and it is life is full of distractions. And it's okay. Like, basically, it's like a pervert's guide to ideology. Is like
Zizek.
The concept is please indulge. Like, look at advertisements. Ads aren't the only thing that are begging you to indulge, because they're a distraction. So what does that mean, please indulge? It means let us keep having everything, the power on top, and just enjoy the indulgence, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very simple concept, is if you go and you do work, very simple, just go do your work the best you can in whatever you care about the most. Let everybody else define it. It's not your job to make somebody else say you're this and you're that. Like, fine. And that's what Kanye does.
100%.
Fine. You want to call me the best art? Fine.
I don't care.
But I'm going to go do these 9 other things great too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very, very simple. Is you can either spend your life following constant distractions or constantly refining your craft, whatever that is.
Right.
And there is no this is better than this. Some people go ahead, that's okay, but don't crave the things that require you to follow the other path.
Yeah, and I think so much of those distractions are agenda based too, and I think that is like I guess some men of the Novo, the fundamental issue with like a regular relationship is that like at our age, like women need for us to indulge in them, like a regular relationship. Like I was talking to my good friend Andrew Kutnick about this. Andrew's getting his PhD, and we talked. He'll be on in another. Everyone we bring on, we just need a random cast.
Yeah,
that needs to be sorry, my sleeves are there. And he was talking about how he's getting married and he loves his fiance, and there would be no like, oh shit, we're mixing knee sleeves. We'll figure it out. Oh, you took your tags off, you're fine. Yep. And how his wife, his fiance, it's number one to him. Without her, she wouldn't be there, and all these things. So his great, it's not an issue, but his great, I guess, thing to solve right now in his life is, how do I get my PhD and achieve all these things that I want to individually, but still give into her and give her what she needs? Because the reality is, with that kind of commitment to a person, like, you need to give them a lot. And so, like, for Andrew and for where he is in his life,
what is it? Rosado? Hold on, I'm sorry. it means mutual exchange, which is
It's what are you saying? You have a microphone. You know that. Reciprocity.
It is
Reciprocity.
reciprocity. Exactly.
Reciprocation. Reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Yeah, it needs to be reciprocal, essentially.
Yeah.
And I feel like in my life, and this, I'll even say personally, I have this even trouble with down to my dad. Like, I cannot, and it sucks, and I hate it, right? But I want, and I have an agenda so hard with what I want, and it's I want this as it's Friday night and we're podcasting. Like, I want this so. I want what I want so bad. I'm sorry, my desire for it is so strong at the moment that anything else that is not fitting the agenda to me feels like a distraction. And so it's not that it's like an actual distraction, but everyone in the world is out for what they want, right? Not in a selfish way, but like, even if somebody's like, I just want to be happy, well, you're out for your happiness. Or even if somebody's like, I just want, or my mom, right? She says, I just want you to be safe. Her agenda is for me to be safe. I do a lot of non-safe shit.
It's a motherly instinct, though.
Exactly. Her agenda is for me to be safe. And so, like, I feel like people are just afraid to stick to their agenda in life, and they succumb to someone else's persuasion. I think it's so silly when someone's like, yeah, well, blah, 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 and then we talked about it, and, you know, we just decided what was best for us. God damn, man, what do you like? What do you want? What do you really want? Like,
I think, and I apologize, are you finished? Because
I will only request is that you talk in the microphone.
I think, again, I can't help, I'm kind of obsessed with Einstein now, so I can't help but reference him, but one of the things he talks about doing a lot is thought experiments. And of course he did them focused on physics because that was his life passion. But I think we can learn beyond just physics of Einstein. And if you apply that idea, think about what, and it's not a comfortable thought, but you should think about, how am I going to feel when I realize I have minutes, possibly seconds left before I die? What are you going to review in those moments? If you can move forward and put yourself in that place, and you have a list of tangible things that you would think, you need to get moving on that list.
Yeah.
It's very simple. So my point is thought experiment. Don't be afraid to pursue that area, because you will inevitably be thinking those things. Do it now while you still have the ability, not when you're about to die and you can't do anything about it. It's very simple. Like, your time is finite. That is a fact.
Yep. It's funny that you say that about, you know, love, and that's the same thing with relationships. It's just like,
it's a thin line, man.
You want to be able to appreciate the person, and, you know, not, how do I say this, not own them. You don't want to own.
Let me tell you something, Jorge. The person I have ever loved the most in my life, I love them and I fear them more than anyone I have ever met in my life. Like, I am afraid of that person.
Why? Because you feel that they destroy you?
Because, dude, I feel like love and hate are of the same school.
Oh, I agree 100%.
And it's the, like, it's the Orson Scott Card quote. It said, when I finally find how to defeat my enemy, in that moment of defeat, I found that I have learned so much about him that I also love him. And it's so true. Yeah. It's like, to fucking have somebody take you out, they gotta know. They have to love you. They have to know so much. Dude, think about what both of you think about what your mom could do to you if she wanted to.
Of course. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh man. Like, I had to stand up for that one.
Just, you know, basically, I mean, yeah, it's with the mothers, but it's just like, that's what happens with a lot of relationships. It's just like you know, I mean, it's inevitable if you spend so much time with this certain individual that you end up, loving them or whatever, and it's just like, this person could literally destroy you.
Well, that's the same. I guess that's the same thing with the overarching religion topic we're just talking about now. You know, it's kind of the same idea.
They could just they release the biggest amount of dopamine in you, like they make you the happiest, but at the same time they could just take that,
Or
it's just like,
my favorite thing that I've learned
it's
this
a scary
year.
thing.
The favorite thing that I've learned this year is the opt out, and I learned that from Jake. Jake left, but Jake taught me how to opt out of things. So like you hear the things and you're like, yeah, you can, and just as Jake's like, no, I won't do any. He doesn't play any. It's like the Joker card in poker or something. It's like, what? You can't do that? Yes, I can. It's amazing. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways, of course, you know, to view all of it, and one of them, I guess, my really only thought to add is, and this is something that I've learned as well, is that it's funny how life kind of goes on, and you do connect with people over time, and it was actually. I was reading something from a philosopher, and it kind of stuck me in thought. I think it was Immanuel Kant, and basically the thought, I can't quote it because I don't remember the exact line, but the thought was that disappointment a lot of time in people ends up being your version of belief that you just hoped they were going to follow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot of irony in that, because I think you start to love something because you think it's similar, yet you start to believe this strange assumption that therefore it's going to follow all of your rules quietly, like without needing to give instructions. And that's a very difficult concept, because I think you have to step back and you have to say, shit, I try really hard to not be biased. You're biased too. Like, everybody's biased to their belief system.
Yep.
And I think the only way to kind of drill down as far as you can to some level of acceptance universally of people and what they all want to uniquely do is kind of that. Like, okay, that's disappointing, but that's just fine. Like, there's nothing, it's not your job to form to,
right.
You know, it's like terraforming another planet. It's
the other night, you when we dusted, you asked a question. You were like, how can I be better? And I think that's the reason, what you just explained, why I gave the answer I gave. And what I said was, I don't think I could objectively answer that without putting my own agenda into it. You know what I mean? Because like, I don't think I'm even genetically capable of saying a person like Jorge, like when I give you advice, like I have to be real. It's kind of in what I know.
Right,
like,
it's your life experience that you're providing for
there's
that person.
there's no way I can tell you kind of like how to do anything. But on the flip side to it, kind of how Dawkins says in the Selfish Gene, like the only real way to get advantage is that find similar people to you. So like when I hear Ben say something, or I hear you say something, I'm like, you know what? I feel like this guy is paired similar to me. I trust his advice because he's closest to me as I can find. If I went out to my old fucking next door neighbor over there who I hate, if I went over there and I was like, hey, what do you think I should do with the company? Man, nothing.
So that's
Not
the
even
point, is
close.
it's a line of mutual respect.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you're going to walk up to somebody on the streets of Tampa, hey, what can I do to be a better person?
Here's my card.
Yeah.
Man, this is going on 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
Part 1, part 2.
I saw
part
that Tim
3.
Ferriss had 3 hours with Dom. I was like,
He did, yeah.
I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Not for nothing.
I'm sure everybody else has to eat some food, and so do I, so... But I can come back in if anything else comes up, so...
Yeah.
I'm hiatusing.
Yeah. Mano y mano. What's good, Jorge?
And shit, man, it's been an interesting topic for sure.
It has been.
It's
Lots covered.
It's pretty funny with this whole podcasting. This is my first podcast that I've ever done, so
Speaking to the mic.
speaking to the mic and shit. But it feels like we're just talking instead of...
Well, like, if you look on the whiteboard here, what we do for the other podcasts is that we like pick a topic, then we write out kind of the key points that we want to get to, and it's conversation. and we just go. And so I think that's the one benefit we kind of have with these podcasts. It's like it literally makes.
But I like how it just happened naturally without
That's
even
what
the
we
key
do.
points.
So what we try to do is like every Wednesday we try to record, and we're just like, we know we have to talk on Wednesday. So like Wednesday, prepare your brain to talk. You know what I mean? That's kind of how it works. That was the loudest thing I've heard in my life.
Sorry.
So loud. Was that vegetable tray?
It's a salad.
Close enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But I guess kind of in response to what Jorge just said, like that's kind of the Novo culture, and believe it or not, like that's kind of how the joint company was formed. Ben had de Novo, and it was heavy consulting, and it was products, some small product here and there, like not a lot of volume, but it was good product, good protein, I guess I should say, and good products that he had previously before. Just really kind of experimental products he did that were really good. And it started, dude, legit on conversation. Like this conversation we're having today, like this is what Ben and I had in the beginning, and we would just have these long fucking talks. And then like we were working I think it was Lane's camp at the time. Then like we wanted to work the camp, but we just kept talking. Like we just kept talking, like, and we couldn't stop talking. You know what I mean? And it's like, then we're like, man, there was never a point where it was a forced partnership. Like it was never like we have to do it. It was like this would make the most. Yeah, it was like this would make the most logical sense. And it hasn't burned out. Like it's still just as like, but then again, dude, that's what happens when two real people meet. Because if any of us were faking, the fake would have burned out by now.
Oh, for
like,
sure.
Like
For sure.
it would have burned out so hard. Like,
I agree.
dude, you can wake us up at 4 a.m. and be like, talk about this. We'd be like, okay, and it would go. It'd be fine. So that's the story of de Novo. You tired? What was that?
No, man. I mean, it's.
You have anything to say? We can close it out. It's been about 2 hours, I think.
Yeah, man. I think, bro, we still need to go to Powerhouse, and
We might go to Powerhouse.
man, I haven't even trained today, man.
You need to train tonight?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
roll. Let's do the
all
work.
big three.
Let's do the work. We do the work.
Well, guys, it's been real. Hope you guys enjoy
You
the
might
podcast.
have to take a separate car though.
And shit.
Not for nothing and shit.
Not for nothing and shit.
The name of this podcast seems to be not for nothing and shit.
If you guys stuck it out, we really appreciate you guys.
Jorge is one of our Berto. Yeah, he's one of our original athletes. Yep. After Berto, yep, that's right. So Jorge was down with us since and it's just grown. You just seen it blow. Like,
It's been pretty amazing.
it hasn't blown. I would take that back, but it's grown.
You've come,
It's
like Ben says, you know, it's, what is it that you say, Ben? I don't know. It's your quote about progress.
I don't
I
even
forgot.
know.
I asked you one time. I was like, "Hey, what do you think about these numbers?" And you were like, "Don't."
Oh, progress is progress. It doesn't matter what the amount is.
Take progress as it is, or something like that. I forgot you had.
It's simple. It doesn't matter the magnitude. If you only get caught up, like, imagine if I told you, let's say we first met.
You dingus.
You dangus. God, my fucking back. Imagine if I told you when we first met that.
How do these mics keep getting close, Jorge? Like, what are you doing?
Here's what you can expect from. I'm going to write you this program. Here's what you can expect. In 8 weeks, you're going to put 100 pounds on your total. So 8 weeks goes by, you put 50 pounds on your total. What have I set you up for? Disappointment. Because you expected 100 pounds the whole time. So what have you lost in that expectation? The fact that you made 50 pounds of progress on a total. That's tremendous progress.
Yep.
So you don't promise what is your hope as well as that person's hope, because what happens is you both build this emotional bond to that level of progress, and then you're both disappointed because you didn't get what you wanted and I didn't give you what you wanted. So bottom line is you have to appreciate progress no matter the magnitude of
In
it.
all facets of life.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
And the relativity ruins us in that measure.
yes, exactly. Because if you set out this hope of this level of progress and you don't attain it, that's chronic disappointment. I'm a failure. I didn't do it. Really? Well, go back and look at the first time you lifted a weight, your physique then, and look at it now. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, I'll use myself for example. Like, I was bones. I was literally bones and a small amount of body fat. Like 6'1", 170 some pounds soaking wet. And I realize there's probably people listening who might have started skinnier. I'm partially over exaggerating. However, I was super weak too. So if I get caught up in the concept that I'm a failure because I can't be the most competitive pro bodybuilder, what have I missed? The robust change in my physique from start to now. So yeah, I think you can set up this framework for disappointment, and that's really dangerous to do. I was supposed to be eating.
The end.
The end.
The end.
Closing statement. Let me think if I have anything. I think it's ironic, right? Because we kind of opened up and started talking about with fear and not making mistakes, and I think this conversation is kind of an example of how, on a micro scale, how my life is, and kind of how which is what I don't understand, like why people would be interested in it, because it's just a random series of events. It's just like well, it seems like this is the best thing to do. Seems like this is, and I just keep picking what I think for the present moment and sustainable future like goal, and I just kind of align. And so I think that's kind of like this conversation. It was just kind of natural. It just kind of ebbed and flowed, as we've said a few times today.
Nothing was scripted.
Nothing, dude. It's never scripted in House de Novo.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Ever. That's the beauty of it. If that was scripted, then we're some great actors to read that with like the proper inflection and tones and all that.
Seriously. That's being
shit.
real.
Yeah,
it's
man.
about.
I just had a computer glitch. So all right, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you for coming on, Jorge.
All right, man. Take it easy and shit.
All right, later and chat.